First game is Kingdom Come Deliverance. It takes medieval combat to the next level. Forget button mashing. This RPG demands your full attention and skill. The combat system is all about timing, precision, and strategy. You'll need to learn how to swing, block, and dodge like a true knight. It's a system that's deep but satisfying once you get the hang of it. The game doesn't just throw you into battle without a proper introduction. You'll spend time training, understanding weapon stances, and learning combos before you start facing off against enemies. The slow-motion kills and intense one-on-one duels really make you feel like you're in a real medieval fight. The open-world setting adds to the tension, whether you're defending a town from a raid or just roaming the countryside. Danger lurks around every corner. The immersive world and realistic combat make every fight feel like a personal challenge. Next game is Sekiro. It takes the intensity of combat to a whole new level. This game doesn't hold your hand. Instead, it throws you into brutal, high-stakes duels where precision and timing are your best friends. It's a game about perfecting your skills, learning enemy patterns, and striking when the moment is right. The unique posture system is what really makes the combat stand out. Instead of just hacking away at health bars, you'll be focusing on breaking your enemy's posture to land devastating blows. It's all about rhythm, parrying, dodging, and striking at the perfect moment. If you can't handle the pressure, well, you might die twice in a row, or more, but each failure teaches you something valuable. What sets Sekiro apart is the sheer satisfaction of mastering its combat mechanics. Every fight, from facing off against regular enemies to epic boss battles, feels like a test of your skills. There's no room for mistakes, but when you finally take down that boss you've been stuck on, the reward is unlike anything else. Next game is Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. It brings some serious intensity to combat, and it's hard to put down once you get going. The fluidity of its combat system is smooth, blending, Batman. Arkham-style fighting with an RPG twist, allowing you to chain attacks, counters, and special moves to take down your enemies in style. But the real fun starts with the Nemesis system. This system is a game changer. Enemies you defeat or let escape will remember you, grow stronger, and come after you again. This makes every encounter feel personal. You'll be facing off against orcs who hold grudges, and those who get away might come back to taunt you or even challenge you to a rematch. It's this dynamic that keeps the combat fresh and intense throughout. The stealth mechanics also add another layer of complexity, as you'll need to outsmart and outmaneuver your enemies before jumping into action. Whether you prefer to charge in with sword swinging or take a more tactical approach, Shadow of Mordor gives you the freedom to play your way. Next up is Diablo 2. It takes the classic RPG formula and amps up the combat intensity to an unforgettable level. The game blends fast-paced, hack-and-slash action with deep character customization. Every swing of your weapon, every spellcast, feels impactful as you dive into hordes of demons, undead, and other monstrous enemies. The combat is straightforward but never gets old thanks to the variety of classes and builds you can experiment with. What makes the combat truly intense is the difficulty. From the get-go, the game doesn't pull any punches, especially when you crank up the challenge in later acts. Each fight, whether against a pack of enemies or a towering boss, demands quick reflexes, strategic thinking, and sometimes a lot of health potions. There's no relying on auto-attack here. You'll need to time your attacks, dodge, and use your abilities wisely. On top of that, the loot system is a key component of combat intensity. Getting that perfect piece of gear can completely change the way you approach battles, offering fresh strategies and new powers. This game is pure adrenaline, and its combat still holds up as one of the most satisfying and intense in the RPG world. Nioh 2 delivers one of the most intense combat experiences you can find in an action RPG. It takes everything you loved about its predecessor and cranks it up to 11, with a combat system that's both challenging and deeply rewarding. The game is a mix of fast-paced swordplay and strategic depth, where every fight demands your full focus. What sets Nioh 2 apart is its unique stance system, high, mid, and low stances, Each offer different advantages depending on your playstyle and the enemy you're facing. Combine that with the ability to unleash powerful yokai powers, and you've got a recipe for intense battles. Mastering your stance, timing your attacks, and knowing when to use your ki, energy, is essential to surviving the tough enemies and vicious bosses. The yokai abilities in particular introduce an entirely new layer to the combat. As you defeat yokai enemies, you can harness their powers and use them to turn the tide of battle. It's a perfect blend of skill-based combat and supernatural abilities, making each encounter feel fresh and exciting. Nioh 2 might be brutal, but once you get the hang of it, it's one of the most satisfying combat systems in any RPG. Ghost of Tsushima takes combat to new heights with its fluid, fast-paced sword fighting and breathtaking visuals. The game lets you channel your inner samurai as you fight to defend Tsushima Island from the Mongol invasion. The swordplay is sharp, precise, and incredibly satisfying. The ability to seamlessly transition between stances for different enemy types keeps the action fresh and strategic. One of the standout features is the duel system, where you face off against powerful enemies in one-on-one encounters that test your reflexes and combat knowledge. Each duel feels like a dance. Quick strikes, parries, and counters all come into play as you try to outwit your opponent. The fluidity of combat makes it easy to jump right in, but there's enough depth to keep even seasoned players on their toes. The game also lets you embrace stealth, giving you the option to sneak around and take down enemies silently, or go in full samurai mode and face them head-on. The Outer Worlds offers a unique blend of intense combat, RPG elements, and a darkly humorous narrative. Set in a retro-futuristic universe, the game brings action-packed gunplay alongside thoughtful strategy. Combat is fast, fluid, and has a satisfying mix of ranged and melee attacks, allowing you to adapt your fighting style to the situation at hand. Whether you prefer blasting enemies from a distance or charging in with a melee weapon, the game gives you plenty of options. One of the most engaging features is the tactical time dilation, which slows down time, giving you a chance to line up precise shots or make strategic moves in the heat of battle. This mechanic adds a layer of strategy to every encounter, as you can target weak spots on enemies or plan your next move while everything else freezes. With a variety of weapons, from quirky energy guns to powerful shotguns, and a variety of perks that affect your combat style, The Outer Worlds lets you approach fights however you see fit. It's not just about shooting, it's about making tactical decisions, using your environment, and leveraging your character's skills. Next game is Dragon's Dogma 2. It cranks up the intensity of combat to an epic scale, bringing back the franchise's signature high-octane action, but with even more polish and depth. The game is all about facing off against massive monsters, and the sheer scale of the battles is what makes it so thrilling. Whether you're battling huge dragons or taking on ferocious griffins, every fight feels like a legendary showdown. The combat system in Dragon's Dogma 2 is fast and fluid, allowing you to string together devastating combos and chain attacks with your allies. The introduction of different classes, like the powerful warrior or the agile strider, gives you a wide range of combat styles to master. But what really stands out are the pawns, AI-controlled companions that fight alongside you and can be customized to suit your combat needs. Their tactical decisions and support make the battles feel more dynamic. The game also emphasizes verticality, letting you climb onto enemies to land powerful blows or avoid danger, which creates exciting, action-packed moments. It's not just about swinging swords. Timing, positioning, and strategy all play a key role in dominating the battlefield. Next game is Horizon Zero Dawn. It brings a unique and intense combat experience to the RPG world, blending strategy, stealth, and raw action into one beautifully crafted package. Set in a post-apocalyptic world where robotic creatures dominate, the game challenges you to take down these mechanical beasts using a combination of weapons and tactics. From bow and arrow to traps and spears, you'll need to choose the right gear for each enemy, making every battle feel different and intense. One of the standout features of Horizon's combat is the focus on precision. You'll aim for weak points in the robot's armor, and if you hit those spots, you'll deal significant damage. The use of elemental arrows, fire, shock, and more lets you exploit enemy weaknesses, making strategy as important as action. Plus, the option to take a stealthy approach or go in guns blazing adds variety to each encounter.
That was close.
Last game is Bloodborne. It is a masterclass in intense and fast-paced combat. This game doesn't just challenge your reflexes, but demands you embrace aggression. Unlike traditional RPGs, Bloodborne rewards offensive play, where other games might tell you to wait for the perfect moment to defend. Bloodborne encourages you to dive in and strike first, turning the tables on your enemies with quick, decisive blows. The visceral combat system is all about fluidity. You'll weave through enemies, dodging their attacks while landing swift, punishing hits. The rally mechanic, where you can regain lost health by quickly countering after being hit, further emphasizes the game's fast-paced, risk-reward style. Every encounter, whether it's a pack of feral beasts or a towering boss, is a test of your patience, timing, and ability to read your enemy's movement. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content on the latest and greatest games. Don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss an update. Got a game you'd love to see in a future video? Drop your suggestions in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Stay tuned and see you next time.